Hey everyone, welcome to another video. So today's video is going to be another one within the Unranked to Challenger series. Today I'm actually going to review a loss. So you guys have requested, I saw one of the YouTube comments say it'd be really interesting for you to go over a loss. So this one's going to hurt the ego a little bit. I don't play perfectly every game, but I thought I'd show you guys how I would step through a review if I were to review this myself. And then also what I'm going to do in this video is talk about some of the mistakes of the laner that I verse. This is something that I'm going to do a lot throughout this specific content series, is actually try and point out some of the mistakes of the laners that I verse. So at the moment on this account, I believe I'm bronze 1, but I'm playing in like high gold for some reason. My MMR must be really good. So I think the player in this game is around, mid to high gold. So he's not a bad mid laner. But yeah, I'm going to try and get into the details. So what we're going to do, start off straight away, is we're going to talk about the team composition. This is a game where I end up playing Orianna. And I've been experimenting in lower elo with taking Airy instead of going the unsealed spellbook route. So that's just something I've been testing out. And I find it a lot more effective in lower elos because you're able to just punish the laning phase a lot more. And I still opt in for teleport though. And this game I'm versing an Echo. And Echo is a champion that can be quite good into Orianna because he doesn't really have to interact with Orianna. And we'll get into that as this game goes along. And I have a Jarvan with Aftershock and I'm versing a Fiddlesticks. So straight away what I'm thinking about heading into the game is the jungle matchup. So this means in my mind that, okay, great, we're going to have pretty good kill threat onto this Echo. He doesn't have teleport, he has ignite, so he's going to most likely be playing aggressive, and Fiddlesticks won't be able to really do anything in the early game because it's a Fiddlesticks, So I was pretty confident heading into this game that this would be a pretty, bit of a smooth sailing game. So fast forwarding a little bit here. Now, straight away, I see my Jarvan start red, so I'm assuming, okay, most likely their Fiddlesticks is starting blue. And then what do I do here? I see the Echo come late to lane, and I actually ping that he's warded on the minimap here. And this is a good ward from Echo because he's probably assuming that he's not going to have priority for a while. Jarvan's a champion that can level 2 gank and can also do a vertical jungle path. So this is a really good ward by this Echo, and props to him. So generally what you want to be looking to do in any of these matchups when you're versing like an Orianna versus Diana, Orianna versus Echo, any range versus melee matchup, I just really want to be poking them, abusing my range advantage, especially since I take Scorch on Orianna because your poke is so consistent, and I've gone Airy as well. So what I'm trying to do now is just zone him a little bit, get a bit of poke off, and really focusing on my CS in the early game because that's really what you want to be doing on Orianna, is playing for your spike. So straight away he's doing the normal thing, can't really do much, he just has to concede pressure. And this is going completely fine for me. I'm starting already now to build a slow push into this Echo. I've got 3 creeps, he has 2 creeps. But what do I see? I see this Jarvan do a vertical clear. So this is already concerning in my mind though, because I don't really want to attend these early skirmishes, but thinking that Echo doesn't really either because he's probably going to have a wave building into him and reversing a Fiddlesticks, it could be okay, but I don't know the bot lane situation as well. So I'm already starting to get a little bit concerned here. And most likely Fiddlesticks starts blue anyway. So generally, what I'm going to be trying to do is, again, just constantly looking to poke this guy as much as I can. Because once he hits level 2, he'll start to trade a little bit more aggressively onto me. But level 1, I win hands down. Now, Jarvan went to the blue, realized that he couldn't get it because bot lane was collapsing. So he's actually had to go, alright. He's like hesitating whether to go. So I'm like already thinking, oh man, this is going to be not good. And a few things I'm actually starting to miss a bunch of CS because I'm thinking about this Jarvan. I'm not thinking about my CSing. I'm panicking about Jarvan doing this really weird path. I'm like, oh no, this guy's probably not a jungle man. This is going to be a bit chaotic, this game. So I've started to build this slow push. And ideally in this situation, now what would happen, I'm starting to build this slow push. And I know that I'm probably not going to get level 2, level 3 by a Fiddlesticks, especially since I'm the one who has a Jarvan jungle. And I should easily have a side to lean on, knowing that, if Jarvan does a normal path, Fiddlesticks should no way be able to gank. So I'm starting to build this slow push, and then what this is going to be able to do is I'm just going to be able to poke this guy under tower. It's going to be pretty easy for me to navigate this early lane. So now, but I'm really confused because I didn't know where Fiddlesticks was. I'm like, well, where is he? Given he didn't start blue, and I had no idea where he was. So Echo starts heavy trading onto me through these creeps. I'm like, what is he doing? He can't do this. I've built a slow push. He's going to be taking so much damage here. And he's still only level 2. So anyway, I realized, and then what's it called? Fiddlesticks just flash fears me, and he got a really early level 3. Like, generally junglers don't get level 3 and are into river by 240, so he's done a super fast clear and actually got to level 3, and he has a blue buff. I'm like, wait, so a Fiddlesticks invaded my jungler's blue buff at level 1? Wait, what? This is so weird. So I just got completely caught off guard this game, and this is really bad for me because, especially when Echo now gets to catch all this farm that I slow built, doesn't get punished for it. Fiddlesticks obviously gets on the board. This is really not looking good for me, and I can't really buy anything, so I just have to come back and having to use my TP this early in the lane. Now, I have no advantage over this guy. My utility advantage with this teleport is completely gone. So Echo's played this really, quite intelligently. He's let himself get pushed in. He didn't take too much damage, level 1 and 2, and he baited me into that trade and then end up getting a kill. So props to Echo. He's played this really well so far. I'm in a very precarious position. So my mindset right now when I've already died, generally, again, given this guy doesn't have TP himself, and this is a common situation you'll see when you have teleport versus ignite, generally what you want to be doing is figuring out a way to hold them in lane. And now that I still have a resource advantage, I've TP'd back, got full HP, full mana, still got 2 pots, a pink ward and wards to use, knowing that Fiddlesticks also now has to go back to his camps, given that he's just blown his flash and shown on the map. I know this is going to be an isolated 1v1, so I don't want to let this Echo free shove me in and get a quick reset. I want to at least be able to deny Echo a bit of CS. So he only has 1 corrupting pot ticket. I know he has no corrupting pots left, and notice I'm playing quite aggressively here. And now this is really, really annoying because now Echo should be theoretically quite scared to push up and break this wave because the wave's in a really bad position. So either Echo has to completely ditch this wave and I can just freeze it and deny him a whole wave, or he has to bring his jungler and actually help him shove out. Now, unfortunately, my Jarvan is, trying to invade again, even though I have a slow push towards me right now. So I really don't want this fight. I'm like, oh no. So now Echo's played this really intelligently. Notice that I have to attend this, and has actually pushed in mid. So this is like, this early game is actually gone. This is like the worst case scenario for an Orianna because it's not played around me. I'm not being able to play this in an isolated 1v1. I'm not able to utilize my TP advantage in mid. And now Echo, it's just, I haven't been, and Echo now has survived the first 3 levels of the lane, which is some of the hardest levels to navigate in this matchup, and also getting an assist, etc. He's definitely, I think he gets another assist there onto the Jarvan as well, I believe. Yeah, he gets another assist as well, and I haven't been able to punish Echo at all. So right now I'm like, all right, well, I think this Jarvan's a little bit tilted. I just have to play very, very patient in this game. So just because all this type of thing happened, it doesn't mean it's over. It just means that I'm going to have to try and slow down the pace of the game. So my intention right now is, okay, I have to be very intelligent with my wards. I've already got 1 pink ward in the river here, which is very good. That's going to give me a side to lean. And I'm just going to be very, very careful about my ward usage right now. And continue to farm up. If I can farm up this game, given that the AD carries a Vayne who's very low range, I think I can still win this game. So again, for some reason, Echo still hasn't based. So I'm happy with this. And now what I've realized, he hasn't based. Echo should have used that opportunity to base, knowing that I had that whole wave under the tower. It would have been able to give him a free recall, get a Darksteel, come back to lane. But now he's actually stayed. Yes, he's full resources, but again, he doesn't have any corrupting pots, which is not what you want to do. Generally not what you want on melee champions. So tying it back to melee champions, guys. So if you're playing Diana, Fizz, Echo, any of those champions, you need to take any opportunity you can to get early bases. Because think of assassins or these types of champions like. Think of them as now they're like a wounded soldier. They want to be able to go in and go aggressively, but they can't because if they take an aggressive trade and they don't kill me 100-0, which you can't this early on, he's just going to get chunked and then he's going to have to just back anyway. So like a lot of assassins need the resources and the corrupt. That's why you go corrupting pot on Echo as well, to be able to regen your HP up and then go for another all-in trade. So generally, this is not what really the situation you want to be on Echo. Now the lane's getting extended in a 1v1. Echo's not going to be able to punish me and push me back to lane. So Echo ideally just should have used that opportunity to recall. And if he wasn't able to slow build a wave, he either has to sacrifice some of his, W in the middle of the wave, sacrifice a bit of his HP to half HP, sacrifice for the wave, and just get a tempo base, ideally on the wave before a cannon creep. That's the type of things you want to be doing on Echo. But now, I'm stuck in lane. He's stuck in lane for me for a little bit longer and he's not able to punish me right now. So I don't really have any idea where Fiddlesticks is, but I do know that I have a side to lean on. And these sorts of trades don't really favor Echo. Again, why is he trading onto me? He should be trading onto the wave. This doesn't really, because he doesn't have teleport. He needs to get back to base. He should be purely focusing on the wave. So I'm happy like this. I'm like, well, I still got 2 pots here. I'm happy to extend this laning phase. I've missed a bunch of CS, which is something I would look at and review. I've missed a bunch of CS. But what I contribute that to, me missing CS, is I'm thinking way too much and worrying way too much about my Java. And I'm thinking, my mind's going 1,000 miles per hour right now. So what I actually realized, Echo ends up basing. And now this base is actually not as good as what Echo could have got. Echo could have just focused the wave and actually pushed the wave fully into tower. And now I missed my Q a little bit there. Embarrassing, but I noticed that he's recalled, so I'm just going to get a recall of myself. So, you know, what's gone from, you know, I'm 33 CS, he's 19. You know, his early game could have been much better if he just understood tempo bases and understood, you know, understanding what you want to do as an assassin. So I end up going for my double. I really want to get to my Lost Chapter because Lost Chapter is such an important item. I get another pink ward, even though I already have one on the map, because I need pinks to be able to lean to one side so I can isolate this 1v1. That's my 100% goal when you're playing any of these mages. You want to isolate the lane in 1v1 because assassins want 2v2s, mids want 1v1s. So when you're coming out of base like this, what I'm thinking is straight away, okay, what's the go? Echo has tempo on me, so I'm already painting my camera mid, ready to use my pings if Echo moves out of river. Moves out of lane, sorry. So I'm just assessing who's getting pushed bot, what's the go here, what's happening, how the side lane's going. So I just want to I just really want to continue just to farm for my Lost Chapter at the moment. And again, the wave's bounced into tower, so it's building, and now it's quite big, building back into me right now. I'm happy to just catch this under the wave. So a few things that I'm thinking about here. The few things I'm thinking about is, okay, I don't want to play like a complete bitch and complete defensively, because if I do and just don't trade at all with Echo, then Echo's just going to be able to ignore me completely if I play too defensive, and he's going to notice that because I'm going to be standing all the way back here. He's like, okay, well, I'm just going to play for the wave, and then he's going to start to be roaming, like using all this wave and all this time to be able to roam and affect the rest of the map. So I still got to find a balance between keeping this guy in lane but not dying myself and not giving him an ability to use his ignite onto me. So I'm trying to thin the wave a little bit here because, again, the bigger the wave, the more tempo he has. And notice how here, I'm trying to keep him tethered and keep my ball out and just move my ball side to side so I can actually utilize my range advantage. So that's the number one thing you got to do when playing any of these mages. You got to be constantly thinking about how am I going to utilize my range advantage. In terms of this position, what Echo was trying to do, I see what he's trying to do is trade with his big wave, but I honestly think what he needs to do first, and this is extremely important on any assassin, is that I strongly recommend playing for the wave. As soon as you get back to the lane, play for wave first, push it all the way in, and then actually spend time getting deep vision on bot side here, spend time clearing pinks, putting pinks himself in the river, and then having a very obvious side to lean on. That's because then what that's going to do is then Echo's just going to be able to sit in the side bush like this, walk out, W. I'm just going to get forced back. He's going to be able to cue the wave, and he's going to be constantly leaning out of vision. And because I'm behind and Fiddlesticks is ahead, I'm going to be so scared to push out Echo, and then the game's going to get really, really hard. But what I've found in low elo is a lot of these players don't use their vision properly when they're ahead. They just tunnel vision and kill, like 1v1, kill. If they set up the vision, I'm in a mobile mage with no cleanse. I am so scared. I can't follow you into river. Remember, mages want to stay in lane, and these, because I'm a mobile, I don't want chaos, I want order. Whereas Echo is a champion where, again, he wants 2v2s, he wants river skirmishes, he wants roams, he wants fights and around dragons and like just crazy shit happening, people blowing flashes. I don't want that. And he can create that with vision. So that trading like that, like he did before, really doesn't do anything. And I'm able to trade back aggressively knowing that, or Fiddle showed already on the map, but I have complete vision on bot side. I have a very obvious side to lean onto. So now I'm just happy farming like I am. And that's my focus. When you're a mage like this, you need to focus farm. I've got 44 CS by 6 minutes, which is not too bad given what happened in the early game, but I'm kind of minimizing this lane quite well. So now, this is a perfect example of a really big mistake I see players do in this elo as well. What has he done here? The wave's in this really, okay, the wave is actually completely fine until he actually queued it. But if we go back just a touch here, what do we see? Well, given my wave is actually on my side, this actually means it's going to be starting to slow push to Echo because my wave's going to get to lane before his, which is fine for Echo. But what actually happens is, look what he does in a second. He walks up, And because he can't walk too deep, because obviously if I'm in this position, he can't really all in me or anything. But he just throws his Q out and actually gets these minions low. So why is this bad? Well, all it's doing is keeping the wave stuck in this position. It's just like, I'm just recognizing that, thinking, all right, well, if you're just going to cue the wave from a distance like that and not let it push out, I'm happy with that, because I'm able to keep the wave in this little pocket here. I'm able to keep my ball quite far out and continuously poke him. So what Echo needs to recognize is he's an assassin. He needs to either be doing one or two things. He needs to either be letting it come into him with vision control on one side and setting up ganks onto me, which I'm extremely vulnerable given that Fiddlesticks is about to hit 6 or is already 6, and I wouldn't have any vision. They can control River since we're behind, and I'm pre-lost chapter. I can't do anything. Or he needs to be hard, like fully committing to the lane, fully committing to the wave, and then pushing and either tempo resetting for resources, or roaming. So if he wants to tempo reset and play for wave, he needs to let the wave come out first in the middle. Then he needs to come out of vision, W the wave, Q it completely, then reset. He can't completely get the wave when it's all the way up here, right? Because obviously his Q won't be able to reach the range creeps because he's so scared of walking up. So this is a huge problem, as a lot of these players in this ELO Gold, they just don't have intention with their waves, and they just get themselves in really sticky situations. Now, this was the first mistake I would say I made in this game, and this is something I would review. I was really annoyed at myself for doing this. So what actually happened here, I knew Jarvan used the Scry's Bloom, so this pink became obvious to me, like I could see that there was a pink in this bush. So then I was thinking, well, if Jarvan is in River, that's what I thought here, Jarvan was in River, I should be able to get this quite safely. So my intention was to actually walk over here, put a ward, and then in my mind, for some reason, I thought Jarvan was going to be able to hover me, and it would be hard for Echo to all in me, knowing that Jarvan was in River. But I didn't even see Jarvan just recalling. He used the Scry's Boom, didn't even walk into River, and just started recalling. And then Echo's able to get a nice little chunk onto me, and this is exactly what Echo wants to do. Defend his vision, but yeah, look for those opportunities. But the problem is, though, look how bad this pink is for Echo. It doesn't help him do anything. He shouldn't even be playing towards topside anyway. His Vayne is already 1-0. It's so hard for him to kill an Alawi. He should just be controlling bot, controlling all these dragons, controlling bot River, which is going to make this Lucian Nautilus scared, which is going to allow Vayne to free farm and potentially set up kills if Lucian pushes up. This pink doesn't allow him to do anything. You should never be putting a pink in the side bush like this. He should be putting it in the bot dot bush right now. Or if for some reason he wants to play for topside, at least put it in this top dot brush. You know, it's just a very, very average ward. Because I'm never going to ward this. I'm only ever going to ward up here. Because what does this ward do for me? Fiddlesticks is either going to be always around here, or he's going to be ulting over this wall. He's never just going to be sitting in this bush and ulting, in my opinion. I mean, he might, but I mean, I'm just not a fan of this. The only reason this should be pinked is if this is pinked also. But again, as Echo, he should be playing selfishly. He should be playing for him pushing and moving. I don't think he should be playing to set up ganks in this specific game. For Fiddlesticks, but again, you know, that's just my opinion anyway. And the main thing here is that I would kind of understand if he was playing towards bot side and this pink was in bot side lane bush, but just top side just doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, this was my first mistake here, and me having to I got chunked here completely. I didn't have to blow flash, I just used my ult as a bit of self-peel, but this is really bad for me. The main reason this is bad for me actually is because I don't think I can even afford my lost chapter yet, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, I don't have any mana, and so I'm in a really sticky situation again. I can't come back to lane and TP. And notice how the lane was going so fine. Echo had no corrupting pods left. I could have actually just shoved out by myself, lent on bot side and shoved out by myself. I didn't need to clear this ward at all. It didn't actually achieve anything for me anyway. So anyway, now Echo's in a really, really good position here. So what should Echo be doing? Echo has full resource advantage. Again, if Echo used his wards properly, he could be getting really in my face right now, knowing that Jarvan, he's level 4, Echo would have a side to lean to. I have no mana. He can just force me out of lane right now. I shouldn't even be able to be in lane right now. I should in no universe be able to have that bot dot brush pinged. And he should be pinging his jungler to come mid. He shouldn't be like I can tell he's not playing with his jungler at all. And so I'm happy to farm this out because I know I have vision in bot river. I have that one actually over the wall there on top side as well. I have plenty of vision right now. And because of that, and because of Echo playing quite scared, and that's why Echo's not actually playing aggressively onto me, because I'm assuming he has no vision of Jarvan in bot river, so he thinks that Jarvan could potentially be round, knowing that he doesn't have ultimate anymore. But this never should be the case for him right now. It shouldn't even matter if he has ultimate or not. If he had a side to lean on, I'm equally scared, because I should have no vision, and I have no mana, no ultimate. I'm a piece of shit. I have no lost chapter. So it's actually really interesting to see some of these problems, some of these players. Anyway, so because of that, I'm able to, I've noticed that I have the vision. I noticed that he's playing quite defensively, and I'm able to kind of farm up, push out the wave, get a really good reset for myself, and get to my lost chapter, which is really big for me. So I'm farming quite well, 64 CS by 7 minutes 40. Yes, it's not super favorable. I haven't been able to punish Echo too much, but it is what it is. Notice how I walk all the way back here and around this corner. I know because Echo knows I'm going to reset. I've got a feeling he's going to walk up and check if I'm recalling here, because that's what most mid laners do. And look what he does. He actually walks all the way up to try and stop my base. Look at that. And because I went for a really good safe base, he's not able to stop my recall. So now I'm just working. I end up getting my refillable because I need some pots here. I get another pink. And now, what am I thinking straight away? Echo's still in lane. So it means I'm going to have tempo. He doesn't have teleport. He can't get straight back to lane. So this is a great opportunity for me to either push and get deep vision or even get a plate myself. So I'm straight away thinking about tempo mid. That's extremely important to think about. So my bot lane, I think, died again. I'm pretty sure Vayne's actually 2-0. Yeah, Vayne's 2-0 at this point. So my bot lane's losing pretty hard this game, and my jungler's just so far behind. He's not even level 6 yet. It's like 8 minutes 30. So I check here just to see if Echo was recalling, but what do I do straight away is get a side to lean on. So I get some vision here, and then I see Fiddlesticks bot, so I don't end up using my trinket, I believe. I end up holding my trinket because I don't need to use it, but I just have this pink on one side. And now I come back to lane. I've got my lost chapter, and Jarvan obviously is super far behind, so he takes blue, which is really, really bad for me. Orianna really needs blue. Very blue. If I want to win lane, I need blue. Otherwise, now I can't poke enough to be able to force this guy out of lane. So what do? I get some vision. I push this out and end up, because knowing that I have quite a bit of tempo, I use this opportunity to get a plate. And I know that I'm pretty much the sole carrier of this team. I wouldn't usually do something like this. I wouldn't usually use my tempo to get a plate. But given that in this situation, Fiddlesticks has already made a play, I know he's most likely resetting. And I know I really need gold since I'm Orianna and I'm the sole carry. I greed a little bit and end up getting a play. It doesn't make me lose anything. And I'm still able to get deep vision on top side here because I have so much tempo. But, it's not something I would usually do. So anyway, I get a nice little ward on the Raptors here and end up clearing this pink ward that I wanted to clear before. But it's looking really much better for me right now, because I know I can still shut down Vayne. Any short range AD carry, Orianna can out carry. So now, I don't walk straight through the river, straight through here, because I know Echo can collapse onto me and I want to abuse my range. If I walk through here, then Echo is going to be able to close the gap and take a heavy trade onto me, and I don't want that, because I want to abuse my range advantage right now. So what should Echo be doing again right now? Echo should be looking to push this wave as fast as he can and actually have a side to lean on. He should be walking into river, using his pink ward, using his trinkets on these Raptors, and continually to be pushing and leaning bot side, knowing that Shen has ult anyway. Shen can just ult him, and they can look for set up Dive's bot if they control bot river right now. But for some reason, Echo's not doing that and continuing to try and trade onto me. But again, if I am very safe to walk up, if I didn't have vision in river, I probably wouldn't be able to be safely able to walk up like this. I'd have to be literally sitting back here because Fiddlesticks can just ult me and kill me, given I don't have cleanse. And given that Echo's not playing for the wave like this, I'm completely happy. I can keep my ball out from like here, and I can abuse my range advantage. That's exactly what you want to be doing all around. Abusing range advantage like that. Look at that. Beautiful trading. And so things is going really good for me. So what should Echo be doing now? Again, he should be walking out of vision, putting his W on the wave, walking over here, EQing this wave, and trying to get the wave in so he can, even if he sacrifices some of his HP, he still has Corrupting Pot. He can use one Corrupting Pot, would be completely fine. And yeah, but what he's doing, he's not Wing the wave. He's not valuing getting control. And you need to have control. And yes, his bot lane's winning, but he's not playing for control. He's playing way too scared because he doesn't have that vision control. It's like a never-ending loop. It's like it starts with this. You don't play for vision, which means that you play scared, which means you can't play for vision. It's like or something like that. It's like a never-ending cycle for him right now. So I'm just abusing my range advantage, knowing this is an isolated 1v1. Shen just ulted bot. I've got plenty of vision. And again, this is beautiful for me. I'm able to abuse my range advantage and walk up and take these trades because I've got the vision. I know I can, you know, take these trades. For some reason, Echo's just not Wing and pushing me off the wave like this. So, next. Now he finally does it. This is what he should have been doing this the whole time. And he kind of messes up his W, but he should have been doing that the whole time. And now what he should be doing is just walking into river. I can't chase him into river. I'm an immobile mage. I can't chase him into river. If he clears the vision, I won't be able to follow him. You know? And it's the exact same if he was any other champion, like, you know, Fizz, Diana, Talon, any of those champions. So, Jarvan gets Rift-Tailed, really, really good. And then I see Fiddle try and chase him with ultimate. Now, this is massive. So now what am I saying straight away? Ringing alarm bells. As a mid laner, you always need to be thinking about the people who have threat onto you. Now, Fiddlesticks doesn't have ultimate. That is a massive reduction in the amount of threat onto me. So now I know, oh, beautiful. Fiddlesticks most likely isn't going to gank for quite a long time. I know now mid's going to be an isolated 1v1. I know I'm quite safe to abuse this Echo even longer right now. I'm so happy when I see that right now. I think that, okay, beautiful. This is going to extend the game even longer. And extending the game is very, very good for me. And notice how I've had that pink and bot dot brush for so long, man. It's ridiculous. And notice how I'm just leaning quite heavily onto my vision. On bot side, I'm leaning onto the bottom half of the lane right now, knowing that Fiddle's in the area on top side. And I don't want to freeze or anything like that because, again, we're getting 10 minutes plus in the game, or even like 8 minutes plus in the game. You don't really want to be freezing anymore because then these assassins are going to be strong enough that they can, you know, just roam. If you just play very defensively and sit all the way back here, they're just going to play for the wave and roam and destroy your bot lane or top lane. And that's not what I want to happen right now. Then I see Fiddlesticks on top side, so I know mid's isolated for a bit longer right now. So this game's going very, very good for me. Echo gets a nice little trade onto me. So he's playing a little bit better. I just think he could be using his W a lot better. But anyway. So he, Fiddle shows mid. I should have actually ulted there straight away. But I'm like, what is he doing? And now, beautiful. This is exactly what I've been waiting for. In my games when I play Orianna, especially, this actually goes all the way up to like master tier, like challenger. If you play patient, you play the correct fundamentals, you lean to the correct side, you ward properly, you get good resets, eventually the enemy will get frustrated or eventually something will happen. Like, this is a perfect example. This is what happens in most of my games where I play defensively, I'm farming very well, they get frustrated, they're worrying that I'm scaling up or whatever it is, and they just, it's like they just throw themselves into you. Eventually, the enemy will make mistakes because no player plays perfectly. Even if they're ahead, people always, they either get cocky and overextend or they lose concentration thinking that the game's over and then you get a shutdown or something. And then this game now, in my opinion, I've got this shutdown. I've now got this red buff. I didn't even have to use ultimate. In my opinion, this is GG. I know I can carry this game right now. I'm an Orianna who's farming really well. 97 CS by 11 minutes 45. I'm versing a low range 80 carry, a low threat top laner. This is my game right now. So I'm really, really happy with this. And I thought it was game over. Right now, for some reason, I didn't ultimate. I think it's because I didn't register that my E was actually on the Jarvan. Echo just flashes out. So I don't really care about that. I'm super happy. I'm farming really well. I can actually now push this guy out, knowing this is an isolated 1v1. Jarvan's actually rifting. This is beautiful. I've still got ultimate. I can get my Ludens after this and get a bunch of plates and even more gold. And this guy can't really do anything to me right now. So I'm super happy. This is beautiful. So now I'm just pushing, and knowing that Fiddlesticks is most likely in base now. And what do we see? I don't register this information. I didn't see this Leona at all. And this was this was a massive mistake. And I contribute this loss all on me. This loss is all on me purely off this play. So I'm like, wait, what is Echo doing? Like, I end up ulting him. So he ended up ulting. I'm thinking, oh, this is fine. Jarvan, why are you scared? We can get another plate there. So I walk up to get another plate. And I'm like, wait, what? Where'd this Leona ult come from? I didn't even see Leona. And then I just have to instantly flash. Echo just ignites me, and because I have to flash like that, and I can't walk downwards because Leona can just stun me. I have to walk upwards, and I just die. Now this is the game. I mean, not the game, but like I had the opportunity to win the game, and now my opportunity to carry this game is just gone. I blew my flash. I gave now Echo's back in the game. Like he was completely shut down. My whole opportunity of carrying is completely gone here, purely because I didn't register I got completely caught off guard. I did not think Leona would roam there because he just left bot for some reason or whatever. I don't know, but I didn't register that. And now that's like, this has just completely ruined my chances of winning the game. I was so frustrated with myself when this happened. And if I'm to look in review like this, my biggest, I guess there's two parts to this. I should not be, like, one of my habits as a mid laner at the moment is that I constantly view the game through a 2v2 lens. If the jungler's dead, or if I know the jungler's not here, I will automatically assume that it's a 1v1 mid, or a 2v1 mid in favor of me. But the problem is, now the game's evolved so much that supports are way more on the ball, and supports actually influence mid a lot more now. So generally, the game is kind of like a 3v3 in a sense, like support, mid, and jungle. So right now, one of the things I need to improve on, and this is actually shown in my challenger level games, is that I will view the game in 2v2s, and I'll get advantages in the 2v2s, and then the support will come out of nowhere and screw me over, and then I've lost my advantage completely. So this is maybe something I have to set as my learning objective is, don't just view the game through this 2v2 lens. Just because you kill the enemy jungler, where's the support, okay? And yes, obviously the support could have pinged it a lot better and not just done one little measly ping, but it is what it is, and I'll take responsibility for that. And that's a very big mistake by me. So now, I have to both flash, which means I have no ult, no flash. Echo is going to be quite fed right now, and we weren't able to get that. I wasn't able to get that, actually, that second last plate. This actually leads to them getting control around bot river and also getting Infernal Dragon. So I all contribute that onto me right now. Very, very bad. Now, I'm actually, in this game, I didn't refresh mentally, and this is my next mistake. I was so annoyed at myself for that mistake because I knew the game was in my hands that I didn't refresh mentally. What I should have done is take a few deep breaths and be like, okay, Curtis, it's still winnable. Calm down, relax. But what do? I go into lane. I'm still replaying that exact same thing over and over and over in my head. And you'll see in a second my next mistake. And this is such a common occurrence that when a player makes one mistake, generally enemies win because this person, not because they snowball, but because this person gets tilted and then they make a second mistake, a third mistake, a fourth mistake. People snowball because they're so weak mentally. And this is something I need to work on. I'm generally pretty good at this. I'm pretty good at iron mental. I've trained myself, but for some reason, because I'm in gold or bronze or whatever it is, I've got like a high ego or something. But now, what do I see? I lose concentration. I see Echo roam top, and I just use TP top. Now, this is a terrible TP. If you know me or seen any of my videos, how is this coherent with the identity of my champion of Orianna? I don't want these scrappy skirmishes. I don't want to be coming late to a fight. How is this abusing my range? It's not abusing my range advantage. It's not abusing choke points. It's not doing anything. This is exactly what Echo wants, and it's just a stupid TP. And this is all because I lost concentration. And I'm like, now I'm on TP. I'm like, what am I doing, Curtis? This is just pathetic, honestly. And so now this is two things I would look at in this game. My ability to, I guess, and this is something I've worked on all over a long time, so it's not too much of a problem for me, but my ability to kind of refresh after a mistake and just move on, be present in the moment and accept reality. But this game I didn't do that, and I got punished for it. And this is exactly what happens in solo queue all the time. You kill someone solo kill, and then they get even more aggressive because they're just so tilted, and then they die again, and then they just get out of control, and then you just lose. And I tell this Jarvan right now, I need blue, can you hold it? But he also gets blue as well, so I'm actually kind of getting a little bit annoyed now because I really need blue. This is like third blue buff or fourth blue buff, whatever it is. So it's just really frustrating. So now I've realized, okay, I'm really far behind Echo. Now my pure objective right now is I just need to scale up. I need to play team fights. I can't interact really with this Echo anymore. And props to Echo. That must have been a really good roam. He saw Alao was overextending. It is what it is. So I see Echo roam again top. And this is a big mistake from Echo. So when you're ahead on a mid laner, you generally want to you don't want to give the enemy mid laner who's behind any way back into the game. And he doesn't shove mid before roaming, so he actually allows me to push out mid first and end up breaking this mid tower, which is really, really big for assassins. They want to keep this tower up as much as possible, because now this is going to give us a lot more control on the map. So I was pretty happy with this. I'm like, all right, well, Echo screwed up. He didn't actually shove out mid before roaming, and he didn't actually control mid, pin me under tower, then roam. So now I'm able to get control that I wouldn't have, all this vision control that I wouldn't even be able to get. I'm able to get a deep ward, a pink into river. We're able to now hover bot side, which allows our bot side to take better trades. And now this is all just really good. And now I'm able to actually get to a fight before Echo, which would never have happened if Echo just stayed in lane, controlled vision, pushed me under tower, and I would have just been catching waves onto tower. And like this, I'm able to E this Lucian here, hold my ultimate, now ultimate this guy after the Zhonya's, and get a nice little kill onto this Fiddlesticks. And now we're able to peel back, abuse my range onto this Echo. And now this is not Echo wants. Echo doesn't want to be, I mean, Echo can come late to fights, but this is good for me because I'm early at the fight. So I'm able to dodge this Shen taunt quite well and just kind of kite out a little bit here. Thought this was actually going to be a pretty free fight for me, but then Vayne ended up coming out of nowhere. So again, not too bad. I'm able to get kind of 2 kills, the Shen and the Fiddlesticks, and my Lao is just free farming this whole time. So these fights, when you're behind, it means we're just going to be getting shutdowns. So now just fast forwarding a little bit. Again, ideally, Echo, right now, should be telling his AD carry and support to go mid, and then him going into the side lane. But the problem is with this team composition is that they got 2 laners that don't want to be in the side lane at this point, and right now I recognize that as Orianna. I'm like, well, I outrange Echo and Vayne, which means I can sit mid quite safely. So I'm actually happy to stay mid for this game. Still got a pink ward on the map, which is nice. And again, my intention right now is to continue to scale up, continue to farm as well as I can, and play for those team fights, and be much more disciplined on the fights that I'm taking, knowing that, again, I'm an immobile mage, tying every decision back to my identity. So now, fast forwarding this a bit, I get a wave in, and Jarvan ends up pinging topside here for another Rift Herald. So I just hover, we clear a bit of vision, we don't start it. Now, Dragon's actually coming up in a minute right now, so we're all starting to group around mid and actually prepare for this Dragon fight, which I was thinking in the moment, I was actually constantly assessing, I'm like, do we want to contest this Dragon? But maybe we should, because if we give them all these dragons, they're going to be able to get Dragon Soul, and it could be a tough game anyway. So I end up just trying to get the shove off mid and continually control vision around mid. Generally, what you want to be doing at this point in the game is you want to be prioritizing this mid wave. The team that gets this mid wave in first is generally the team that gets to walk in river and control vision first. And it also gives you 2 options. Let's say I get this wave in, and say all their team is around Dragon, or as 5, I'll draw on the minimap here. Say their 5 is on here, and our 5 is on mid. Well, we can always just completely ditch Dragon and just walk up mid and actually get mid tier 2 if they want to commit to Dragon. You don't have this option if you completely ditch mid wave. So this is why getting mid wave in solo queue, especially around mid game and around these Dragon fights, is really, really helpful. It's good for control. It also gives you options. And if they don't respond, they're just going to lose a whole wave mid. So right now, what I'm waiting for is just waiting for my team to kind of group around Dragon. I don't want to walk into river by myself and make myself vulnerable. So what I'm constantly doing right now is trying to abuse my range. I'm constantly assessing the threat on me. So who are the main threats on me? Leona ult is the main threat. Fiddlesticks ult's the main threat. So I'm constantly tethering this Leona so she can't get in range to ult me. And I know the range of Leona ult. She can't get me. I don't even have to flash here. So now they just waste Leona ult. And now they're quite split. And we're able to get an ult on Vayne and now force flanks flash. So now what do? Instantly ping back. Because I know I see Echo flanking from the side. This is exactly what Echo wants. So I want my team to walk backwards because I want to be behind my teammates. If they walk up here, I know that I'm going to be directly flanked and I'm not going to be able to position myself behind my front line. So I'm telling them back. If they back up, then we can kind of regroup and play the fight that is better for Orianna. That's why you always got to communicate with your team with pings to help them dictate the fight that you want. So they try and get onto me here. I actually don't even have to flash. Alawi's just split pushing the whole time. So this is actually quite good. We're stalling out the game quite well. And then I noticed Vayne is quite split here. So I end up just speeding up my Lucian, and we're able to get a nice little pick on the back end here onto this Vayne, which is nice. And then Echo comes in here. This is quite sketchy, so I have to flash. So I just recall. They get a tower mid with another Rift Herald. It is what it is. But again, the game is still stalling out. I'm farming quite well. I'm getting to my Rabadons. Once I get to my Rabadons, I'm going to have a lot of threat on this Vayne. My sole objective is to be able to 100-0 this Vayne. That's all I want to do. So I get my blue. We end up trading off the Dragon. And generally, this is a really solid strategy. Don't try and contest the Dragon way later. Just give it and play for control topside. I'm clearing the vision topside, moving my pink topside, knowing that Baron's the next objective. Trying to get a bit of deep vision here. I just ward up here above the red here. This is just a really good thing to do and try and prepare to, I guess, allow you to potentially get a favorable fight for you in the future. Again, clearing it. I've cleared 2 pinks now. Help my team get shoved off mid-wave like this. Hovered topside a little bit. Got a bit of deep ward. This is much better than just randomly hovering around Dragon, knowing that we're not going to be able to fight it anyway. So I'm trying to tell Alawi to go bot, because this is the lane assignments. We need Alawi bot, I need to go top, and we need to keep Lucian mid. Ideally, that's the lane assignment. So I'm trying to communicate in chat. But I know Echo's bot right now, so I know we've actually got a decent chance of just getting a bit of chunk off here. But Alawi actually ends up going quite ham. And I'm like, all right, well, again, why is this fight not too bad for me? I know Echo's not here with no teleport. I'm behind my front line. I'm abusing this terrain to kind of create the gap. Is that like, as Orianna and any of these Amomar mages, these fights are not bad if you are constantly if you're knowing that there's no threat onto you. And I know no one can threaten me if I'm over here and I'm behind my front line. So this is where I can just ball my front line, get some nice little ultimates off here, and just play with my team. And we end up trading 1-for-1. And again, trading 1-for-1 when you're behind like this is completely fine. Farming Raptors whenever I can. Now, I really didn't want to do this. So I saw Jarvan pass through here, and he's actually pinging assist me on mid-wave. So I'm like, oh man, all right, I'm just going to follow. And this is my next mistake this game. I know this is a bad fight. Why do we know that? Well, we know Echo's back on the map. What this is going to do is, again, if you walk this way, I know that Echo's going to be able to close the gap. It means that I'm fully committed into the wave like this and into the lane. And I know this is going to make me extremely vulnerable. I know my 80 carries in base. I know one of our strongest members, Alawi, is actually dead. I also know that I have no ultimate and I have no flash. So this is a huge, one of the massive, I actually, again, call this a game-losing play. And I take full responsibility for this because I didn't ping back onto this Jarvan. A lot of these players don't know what you want. So it's your responsibility to communicate through pings and say no. And even if he goes here and dies, that doesn't matter. He's going to die anyway. I'd rather conserve. I'm 4-4. I'm nearly at my Rabadons. I've got 1900 gold. I don't want to fight this whatsoever. If he dies, you know, great. He can die on him. I'm not getting dragged into these fights. But what do? I don't say no. Notice how I hesitate? I walk back. But because he's pinging, I'm like, oh, I'll try and help him. And he just goes in like crazy. And this is terrible for me. And I end up dying after this fight. I was so frustrated myself as well. So a lot of these very frustrating decisions that I made, just very poor decision making. And I take full responsibility for this loss. I mean, I have like 4 or 5 mistakes that, yes, you may think, for you guys watching, you may think they're small and you may blame my bot lane or whatever for this Fed Vayne, or this Jarvan, but I don't care. Like, you can control the pace of the game and you can control what actually happens. And I didn't. I got baited into a lot of these fights and I didn't say no. And I know that's a very terrible fight for Orianna given the situation. And that's what you need to be doing, actually, talking a little bit more on this, is that every single time you're not fighting, you should be thinking, what am I actually trying to do? Am I farming to what item? What is my summoner situation? What is my ultimate situation? Like, you need to be constantly assessing these things because this will dictate what fights you should and shouldn't take. Okay? So anyway, fast forwarding a little bit, and I ran out of pings. Dude, they have no front line. I said, Lucian, I'm trying to type, go to Baron and R them. I'm literally trying to tell him what to do. And I said, Alawi has TP, I have TP. So I get Lucian to eventually listens to my communication, which it just shows people do listen. And then he ends up forcing them off Baron, which is really good. And we end up killing Fiddlesticks on the back end here. And I end up TPing into this fight here. And because, again, I communicated, told these guys what to do. They listened to me. We were able to get a nice few picks onto these guys, and we end up getting Baron off of this as well. And we end up getting Baron and a kill on Echo. So this was all from my communication, telling the team what to do. I said, Alawi, go TP. Lucian, just go to the Baron. It's good. So again, now we're back in the game. I've got the Baron. I've got my Rabadon's death cap. Now all I'm thinking about is who threatens me? What is my level of self-peel? I have no flash. I have ultimate now, though. So I'm still okay. I'm a bit vulnerable, but I just need to be very careful. I need to be sitting behind my front line, and I need to be looking to assassinate this Vayne as much as I can. So I just group mid, and I told team, just group 4-1. Alawi go side lane, we just group as 4 mid. So it's looking still okay. Just fast forwarding this a little bit. Again, we just group as 4 mid. All right, so now this is where, if you're an Orianna player, this is where you need to kind of, especially if you haven't really done anything in the early game to benefit your team, this is where you need to make up for it with really good teamfight awareness. So now I know next objective is most likely this dragon, or we're going to do some sort of mid to bot rotation. I know the team, given we have vision on bot side like this, I know Fiddlesticks is either over this Raptors pit or somewhere on top side. So as long as I hover over here, I know no one can really threaten me. And again, I don't want to be fighting into this choke, fighting and getting dived on by Echo. So I just want to be staying behind my front line and making them come into us, because one of main Orianna's strengths is having the ball out here where you walking back and then they have to walk into your ball. So then you can like move your ball either way and get a really good shockwave. But it's really hard for me to get a good shockwave if we're running into them, because I then have to throw my Q out or do like an E onto someone then Q, and it's really, really hard to get a good shockwave like that. So what I'm thinking is, all right, let's find a way to make them come into us where I can get a great shockwave. The Nautilus for some reason walks very deep. In a second, he stays. I don't know what he's doing, and we're trying to walk backwards. And notice how I'm not instantly going in to protect him. I'm valuing my life really highly. I'm constantly walking back, constantly trying to stand behind my Jarvan, and now I'm just trying to regroup with my team, with my AD carry. I want to be playing with my AD carry, and with my AD carry. I mean, with my front line. So, and when I see Jarvan walk down like this, I'm trying now just constantly be around my Jarvan. Now, what do we see here? Look, the team's trying to chase into me, and this is what Orianna is great at. You can, if the team chases into you, this is where you can get some really nice shockwaves and poke off. And I see them chase into me. Now I get a really good 3-man shockwave, chunk all of them to about 15% HP, 20% HP, and I continue to walk to my Jarvan because he's my front line. Now, I have to flash because Echo dives onto me. But again, peeling back, this is really, really good. And because I chunked their whole team, we're able to get a nice team fight off and actually kill this Echo, chase him down. I should get the Shen anyway. And a way better fight than what it could have been. All but because I recognize that's the type of fight I want on Orianna. I want to peel back. I want to play with my front line. I want them to come into me where I can abuse my ultimate. So now this dragon is actually coming up in 30 seconds. I don't have teleport, so I can't quickly recall and get back to dragon in time. And this is actually for the soul as well. So I'm like, oh man, this is a nightmare. I don't have ultimate. I don't have flash. I don't even have much mana. This is going to be a bit sketchy. So what I'm thinking in my mind is, all right, well, there's not much you can do, Curtis. You have to do whatever you can. Try and position yourself behind the front line, at least, or try and somewhat control these choke points and stop the enemy from getting in and buy enough time, even if you have to sacrifice yourself, just so we can get the dragon. So I try to poke this Echo a little bit so it prevents him from diving in, but what I'm really trying to do right now is prevent them from coming in, but Fiddle just went ham. And now I'm trying to peel back. And the reason I go over here is because, okay, if I go this way, I die to Leona and Echo. If I go up here, I die to Vayne because you can just condemn me and kill me and I don't have flash. So I'm thinking, well, if I go over here and then throw my ball over here, if we peel back into the pit, because that's where my AD carry and my support, my jungler are, I can actually potentially get a shockwave from over the wall. So what do? I walk back over here. And then I notice they dive into a pit, wait for the Zhonya's, and I get a nice little double kill on the back end. And then Vayne ends up just flash ulting me and then killing me. But again, it was not too bad. We end up getting the dragon and trading some kills here, which is not too bad. And and I think they all end up dying, but it's not too bad. So now, ideally, what we're doing is playing open area fights, keeping them at range, making them come into us, continually farming. So I'm building towards my Banshees at the moment, I believe, because they have a Fiddlesticks and an Echo. So I just shove one mid wave, knowing that I have a bit of time to do this, and then I just group mid. So I group mid like this, and this is not bad for Orianna, these open area fights where they have to come into us and I can abuse my range. This is exactly kind of what we want. And then they split. Jarvan looked for a fight. Notice how I'm just sitting over the wall like this, and I'm trying to, again, create space between me and the people that threaten me. And the next thing I want to do is, I notice now that Jarvan's too far. And I see this. I see my Lucian is in a really awkward spot. So now I want to protect my Lucian, because Lucian is, again, a huge part of our teamfight winning. So I go back. I throw my Q here, knowing that Vayne, all I'm doing is viewing this Vayne. I'm thinking, okay, where's Vayne? How can I get onto Vayne? So I throw my ball over here, knowing that Vayne wants to chase into my Lucian and assassinate the Lucian. Now this ball is going to be able to create space, and ideally should make them either walk around or they just take an ultimate to the face. So what do? Wait for them and get a nice little ultimate, get a big chunk onto this Vayne, and I just peel back with my Lucian here. E my Lucian, and again, get a nice little QW onto this guy again, because I'm constantly just focusing on that guy, abusing my range. Look how far I can kill him from, and making this Vayne's life a living hell. Unfortunately, he just stopwatches and just lives on like no HP. But this fight I did the best I could given the circumstance. But you can kind of see how I'm trying to play fights. I'm trying to always peel back. I'm always trying to make my ultimate like either threatening enough to allow my AD carry to do damage, or just one-shot their backline like that. And look at this. This just shows to me this Vayne is 13-3. And look at this. She can't walk up to me. I can just do that. I can keep her at a range. She can't walk into me, and when she doesn't have flash, she can't dive onto me. It's so free. And that's why I knew this game was actually free if I was a lot more fed and didn't screw up the early game. So anyway, fast forwarding, I think there's just one last team fight, and the enemy team just gets too far ahead. I just trying to contest midway first. We come into river like this, I was hoping that they were going to come into, because what happened right now, it was an Elder or Baron. I'm like, oh, screw it. Let's just come to Baron, start it. If they walk in here, maybe they can run into us. I can get a really good shockwave or whatever. It is what it is. I tried to make the executive call, try and make something happen. Even just trade Baron for Elders better than nothing. So I place my ball here. And notice when I place my ball here, what I'm waiting for is them to walk in and potentially get a shockwave here. But then they walk in too deep here. Echo does a really good job of getting onto the back line. I'm trying to get my ball, move my ball over here so I can get a shockwave and peel the team. But again, Jarvan and Nautilus were going way too deep. They should have just peeled back. If they peel back, they have to walk into me and Lucian, and then we can get some decent shockwaves. But again, I get a shockwave, but it's just too late at this point. Like, they're just too fed, and then we end up just getting aced and lose the game. So, hope this was interesting. This one obviously was a bit of a strike to the ego. But again, this is how I would review the game. I probably wouldn't go in this in depth. I would kind of highlight those key 2 or 3 errors, figure out which one that I would want to focus on, which one is my learning objective, and create my learning objective based on that. And I know for me in the past, that was a huge problem for me, was the mental side of the game, not recovering after dying once. And the other one was, I mean, obviously it's something that I've really built over time, is being very strict in terms of making all decisions or creating all fights given coherent with the identity of the champion that I'm playing. So hopefully this was helpful. If this is something you want to see more of, just let me know, and I'll be continuing to do more videos within this Unranked to Challenger content series. So cheers, thanks for watching, and thanks for the support. And if you have any questions, leave in the comments or in the Discord. Cheers.